Hello, everyone. Continuing with some short excerpts from the Camatkāra, the Hidden Path. And today I would like to read a short passage from the chapter entitled, Wherever You Are is the Entrance. The role our thoughts, emotions, and feelings play in the drama of life is central to our happiness, and it would be folly to argue otherwise. This is even true to those spiritual perspectives which place an emphasis on the need to forego all the spectrum of human responses in order to arrive at the place where one is unperturbed by human drama. Even those rare few who have accessed true peace and equilibrium are not exempt from being subjected to emotional responses which bring forth certain feelings with greater force. Tremendous attempts were made to subdue human nature throughout our shared history, which gave us a variety of psychological perspectives on what it means to be human and how to deal with it all. Some of these views are so diverse and perplexing in their approaches that one begins to wonder if there is a universal remedy to what takes precedence over anything else as that human condition. This is where Tantra, as that progressive and timeless expression of Vedic thought, has a lot to offer. The knowledge contained in the expositions of its principal doctrines is unparalleled, which makes an invaluable contribution to this field of study when it comes to the understanding of what it means to be human. This is of particular significance, for Tantra is known as an all-embracing path towards self-realization, with energy as its principal aspect. According to its main postulates, everything is considered to be a particular expression of energy. Therefore, thoughts, emotions, and feelings are seen as forms of energy. Since everything is considered to be energy, Tantra does not shy away from the full gamut of approaches, including that of rational analysis, intellectual insight, emotional introspection, and inquiry into the thought processes, whilst taking into consideration the somatic nature of all experiences, and more specifically, the importance of sexual energy in the process, a perspective unique to Tantric tradition. To give it a contemporary understanding, Tantra could be spoken of as the neurophysiological path of transformation. In modern physics, the principle of the conservation of energy, also known as the first law of thermodynamics, states that the energy is indestructible. It only transforms from one form to another. This echoes the Tantric understanding that energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed. And this potential for transformation is in relation to everything, including the internal work we do individually. Whatever stands in the way of our freedom cannot be gotten rid of. It has to be transmuted. The possibility inherent in the way we are wired synaptically means we have the potential to free ourselves from outlived habits, accumulated stresses, deep-seated traumas, psychic conditionings, and ultimately that sense of separate self which causes the greatest pain of separation. One of the ways of looking at spiritual work in terms of what it truly represents is in being able to metabolize undigested impressions and experiences and integrate them all into the fabric of our awareness. To take a quantum leap in our understanding of the way energy works, we are invited to see that what is considered a hindrance can be used to advance on the path. To paraphrase one of the Jalaluddin Rumi's verses, when rust sets in the mirror, used to polish it clean. Note, during that time, mirrors used to be made of polished metal and had to be regularly varnished to remove rust. The polishing here is of the mirror of the heart to reflect the image of the beloved, a symbol used by Sufis as that daily reminder of the fallibility we call the human condition. It's the call to prayer to keep the heart in pristine condition for the divine to reflect itself in fuller measure and in our own image. The voice of our current culture is at best a collective lamenting on this seemingly unbridgeable condition, this psychosis, this unbearable pain. Yet to answer to the call of the Sufi mystic requires recognition that these impressions were entrenched in are to be transformed. No impression, no experience is meant to be seen, let alone accepted, as an impediment to our freedom. This is the greatest limitation consciousness can impose on itself. From the tantric perspective, all the limitations we are faced with in life are meant to be offered into the fire of self-awareness. Anything that stands in our way of freedom and happiness must be offered into that flame. We are encouraged to set ablaze our perceived sense of imperfection, not as a violent protest through self-immolation, but as an act of empathy born of understanding. Let it burn bright. This is the inner dimension of the Homa, the fire ritual performed by Vedic priests, and unless we consciously offer our limitations and obstacles into the fire of awareness, the outer offering will always remain incomplete. When two substances come together, it causes the birth of a new element, often at the expense of what went into it in the first place. This is alchemy. This active ingredient understanding invites creativity into everything we do, and that extends to our practice of meditation. We are the original cause and effect of all that is, and all that has ever been. This whole existence is for us to experience bliss at the very reason behind it all. Anything that stands in the way of that truth is consciously offered into the fire of knowledge. Being ready to offer our perceived limitations illumines our understanding further and opens it up to being able to offer our limited sense of self, speaking of that ultimate act of offering. Before we can willingly part with our individuality, we ought to make it into a wholesome offering. I'm willingly to offer myself with all these limitations. I'm willing to offer up whatever it is that prevents me from the joy of being here and now. Whatever has impeded this sense of freedom, I'm ready to offer that. I'm ready to be free of it all. This is the way of yagya, the way of conscious sacrifice. Whenever we make a sincere offering, whatever it is that was offered is being made whole again.